Today on Retro and Beyond, we're going back to school, 70s style, to relive 15 things we miss from schools in the 1970s. Whether you were a straight A student or just trying to survive gym class, these memories will bring back more than just report cards. They'll bring back a whole era. There were pop quizzes, wooden rulers, and that unforgettable smell of mimeograph paper. Let's dive in. 1. The chalkboard. Every classroom had one, or two, green or black, dusty and loud. Teachers snapped chalk, wrote in cursive, and erased with that giant gray felt eraser. And remember the sound of that chalk squealing across the board? Instant goosebumps. Smartboards just don't hit the same. 2. The giant pull-down maps. Geography wasn't digital. It was pulled down from above the chalkboard. Those giant scrollable maps of the world, the US, or ancient Rome. The teacher would whack it with a pointer and say, "Right here is Mesopotamia." Today's maps fit in your pocket, but those pull-down ones, they made it feel real. That useful furniture in school that has dual purpose and a character, also that non-human living being that lives in classrooms with the students, we will remember them in a while. 3. Cursive writing lessons. It wasn't enough to write. You had to write beautifully. Every letter had to connect, slant just right, and loop gracefully. You practiced in lined notebooks until your hand cramped. Now, cursive is barely taught, and your signature might as well be emoji. 4. Film strips and the beep. The lights dimmed, the projector clicked on, and you knew you were in for a treat, the film strip. One frame at a time, with a student assigned to advance it when the beep sounded. It wasn't Netflix, but it was a break from fractions. 5. Metal desks with lift-up lids. Every kid had a desk that doubled as a storage unit and a noise machine. You'd lift the lid, slam it shut, and secretly read your comic book inside. It smelled like pencils, glue, and mystery. Modern desks have cubbies, but they'll never have character. 6. Teacher's smells. Coffee and chalk dust. You always knew where the teacher was. Just follow the scent of Maxwell House, chalk dust, and maybe a touch of Aquanet. It sounds odd, but to this day, one whiff can teleport you back to 4th grade. 7. Class pets. Every class had a critter, hamsters, turtles, even goldfish. And once a year, someone got the honor or horror of taking it home over break. It taught responsibility, empathy, and sometimes grief. You never forget when Buttons, the guinea pig, didn't make it through Thanksgiving. Up next, how did the teacher in the 70s show her lessons in slideshows? And how did he pass on the notes and quizzes to the students? Can you remember these useful tools that were so useful before? 8. Overhead projectors. A clear sheet, a dry erase marker, a glowing humming lens. Teachers scribbled math problems onto transparencies and adjusted the focus like a NASA technician. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. Now, it's all PowerPoint. Back then, it was science fiction. 9. The mimeograph machine purple ink. Damp pages. That unforgettable smell. Getting a fresh handout was like sniffing a memory. The copies were crooked, but the scent? Every 70s kid knows exactly what we're talking about. 10. Saying, the Pledge of Allegiance. Every morning, hand on heart, eyes on the flag. No debate, no questions, just a ritual that made the start of school feel official. It wasn't political, it was routine, and maybe a little grounding. How did school libraries remain organized and neat? How did the student body get updated with every important but boring information? These are rarely done now, but before, they were essential. We will reveal these in a while. Let's dive in. 11. Recess. Without rules. Recess, in the 70s, controlled chaos. You played tag, kickball, Red Rover, sometimes dodgeball with real rubber balls that stung. No foam, no helmets, just bruises, laughter, and a teacher squinting from the bench. 12. Hot lunch on trays. Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and a side of mystery fruit. All served on a segmented tray, hot in the middle, cold on the sides, and those little milk cartons you could never open right. Today, it's all pre-packed. But back then, cafeteria day felt like a restaurant. 13. School assemblies that lasted forever. The principal talking for 40 minutes, a guest speaker about dental hygiene, the school choir singing, "This land is your land." You sat cross-legged in the gym, bored out of your mind, and loving every second of not doing math. 14. Library card catalogs. No Google, no search bar, just a wall of tiny drawers filled with index cards. You flipped through Dewey Decimal chaos to find your book. And if it was missing? Tough luck, kid. Come back next week. 15. Teachers who had full authority. If you got in trouble at school, you got in trouble at home. Teachers were respected. Their word was final. They had the paddle, the glare, the clout. And somehow, they managed to teach a room of 30 kids without a smartboard or Wi-Fi. School in the 1970s wasn't perfect, but it was real. Tactile, smelly, loud, personal. You touched books. You wrote by hand. You waited your turn. And what you learned wasn't always on the test. So maybe we didn't have laptops or learning apps, but we had patience, imagination, and a whole lot of chalk dust. Thanks for walking the halls of memory with us today on Retro and Beyond.